Living Legend is brought to you by King Auto Production.
Hello good people out there, and welcome to your favorite and educative program, Living Legends. Today our special guest on the program is Dr. JB Asare, the man behind the psychiatric hospital. Before we talk to our special guest, remember this program is brought to you by King Auto Production.
Dr. JB Asare was born at a village near Nkoko some 62 years ago to Mrs. Dora Asare and Mr. G. Asare. Mrs. Asare was a timber contractor, and my mother was really an illiterate trader. I started school at Nkoko, but before then I had spent some time in a village near Tinkon called Konko, where I attended my kindergarten. I started school in 1948 at Nkoko Presbyterian Primary School, and got to Form 3 at that time, and obtained a scholarship to Presbyterian Boys Secondary School at Udumasi Krobo. I completed Presec in the year 1961 and went to Laboni Secondary School for my sixth form. After the sixth form, I left the shores of Ghana in 1964 to Poland to study medicine. After attending 1 year language course in Poland, I traveled to another city called Krakow, where I began my intensive medical education. I completed and did my housemanship in Poland and came to Ghana early 70s. I spent some time at Sopon Hospital as a medical officer and worked through the years until 1976, when by the grace of God I obtained another scholarship to travel to Australia to study psychiatry. In fact, when I got to Australia, I was so impressed about the way the professor of psychiatry, one Professor Alan German, dealt with his cases, and his style of management of cases appealed to me so much that I decided to stay in the field. Unfortunately, I went on a scholarship called Home Sponsored Scheme, which meant that Ghana government had to send some money to sustain me in Perth, Australia, which wasn't enough. I had earlier on, after working in Poland, gone to Britain to do a year's work in surgery and orthopedics. So it wasn't too difficult for me to go back to Britain to continue my psychiatry. In fact, I was so lucky that when I got to Britain, I was appointed a registrar straight away in psychiatry after 15 months exposure to psychiatry in Australia. And it was then that my professors took interest in me. They always flattered me with all kinds of things, thought that I had the flair and the ability to become a good psychiatrist. In fact, that propelled me on to obtain my membership by examination to the Royal College of Psychiatrists in 1980. I had by that time worked through so many hospitals in the Midland area and a rotational training scheme. But after I obtained my membership, I went to Oxford region to become a senior registrar. And I always, in my career, I wanted to be exposed to as many conditions and as many varieties of activities as possible. So there I did child psychiatry and mental handicap. I also had exposure to forensic psychiatry and psychotherapy. So in 1982, I decided to come home. In fact, my professors and consultants were not happy because they thought I could make my career in England. But I felt that I had spent so much time abroad and I've benefited from my government scholarships and all that. And so it was my duty to come home and help my people.
Ago Ghana! King Auto Production presents Living Legend.
In a nutshell, this is my life.
I can speak so many languages, so my patients feel comfortable with me.
Ghana Bar is a combination of many.
My funeral delegates of the Akan people. It was my first book.
I went to London to help to turn our Gold Coast office, then it was, into a high commission.
I got this sucker, not from Ghana, but from Philadelphia.
People call me all sorts of names as a result of my sporting life.
I was a little adventurous.
So on Monday when I saw the papers, I decided to quit football for good.
Living Legend is brought to you by King Auto Production. To sponsor this program, please call telephone numbers 024-437-2797, 024-437-2797.
When I arrived in December 82, I was immediately absorbed. It was like somebody coming out of the moon. They weren't expecting a psychiatrist to come to Ghana at that time. That was the revolutionary period. So I was posted to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, where I became head of the psychiatric hospital.
Dr. Asare is somebody who came and worked in the Accra Psychiatric Hospital from 1983 up to the early 2000 when he retired. And he retired honorably in this hospital. During his tenure of office, he combined his administrative work with his clinical duties and public health work, giving lectures outside for people to know that when you are mentally ill, you are also a human being and you need the best of care. He is somebody who is hardworking and loves the profession he chose to work on.
In 1983, news went round the whole of Accra that a new young doctor, Dr. JB Asare, was in the hospital. But I was so happy, but overwhelmed with the kind of things that I saw. Because I had worked in psychiatric hospitals abroad where they had better facilities, where the workload was so little. And here I found myself, JB Asare, flogged with so many patients to see a day. And I was seeing up to 120 cases in a day, continuously for 5 days. And at the same time, since there weren't many, I had to do my ward rounds and make sure that the wards were clean and all that. And as I said, money was not easy to come by. Fortunately, some people from the administration, that is the headquarters, realized that I was serious about doing something about psychiatry. So immediately the government asked for a committee to look at how to improve the psychiatric services in Ghana. And JB Asare was made the chairman. At that time, there were no toilet facilities in most of the wards. And my staff always felt very bad coming to the hospital. Some came with their own clothing, which they left. And then on going home, they took another clothing because the wards were so filthy. And many didn't want their friends or relatives to even know where they were working. So first and foremost, we had to tackle the conditions in the hospital to make them congenial so as to attract staff to work in there. And at the same time, it was my duty to see to the welfare of the patients who were dying daily from starvation and other diseases from infection because the hospital was so much overcrowded. We had about 2,000 patients at that time. And so the committee looked into it and we thought about embarking on active discharge policy. So a team of us went around looking at the patients and then bringing in social workers, and we were able to locate relatives of some of them. And with little counseling, some of them were able to go home.
I'm Henry Abose. I know Dr. Asare very, very well. I've been to his office some time ago. Asare was a nice man. Dr. Asare is a good man. Even if you are sick and you enter into his office, as soon as you see his face, your sickness is gone, naturally. He's a polite man. He talk nicely, cool, have patience. Let me be frank. He's one of doctors in Ghana, one of the best. It's among the best. Yeah, that's what I think. It's among the best. He have patience for anybody at all. Whether who you are and what you are, whether you are from the north, you are from the south, you are from the east, you are from the everywhere, you have patience for everybody. And this is the way doctors have to be.
When we look at life and all these things, sometimes people forget that psychiatrists also have needs. Yeah, my children always thought that I was not available most of the time. I tried to satisfy their needs, but what I should do as a father was really not that much there. And I tried to make amends at a particular stage. But the work that I did took a lot of me. I was so much involved. My children sometimes accused me of not having time for them and all that. But as time went on, they grew up a little bit. They understood that after all, Daddy was doing something not only for himself but for us all. And they have all enjoyed most of the achievements that I had. Even in England, when I was the head of the psychiatrists in training in my area.
You are still watching The Living Legends, and this is the chat-field segment of the program. Remember, Dr. JB Asare is still our guest. We are so honored to have on a chat field today another great citizen of this country, Dr. Akwesi Osei. Briefly, over 2 decades working with Dr. JB Asare, how would you describe him?
Well, I would say Dr. JB Asare is really a wonderful person. I'm particularly impressed about his patience, and I've said on a few occasions that I have never seen him angry, and that is really rare. We all get angry at different times, but I've really never seen him angry. He is able to control his temper, manage situations. He is deeply knowledgeable in his field, which is the mental health, and of course we know that he's a well-respected personality. He's a member of the International Narcotics Control Board, member of various international bodies. And in West Africa, he's really very respected in terms of mental health. He's trained people, and I am proud to say I'm one of his trainees. So really, Dr. Asare has been very great. Apart from his patience, he's always ready to impart his knowledge. And his human relationships, he's excellent in terms of the way he relates to people. He's careful not to want to offend anybody. And there's a lot one can say about him. So I think he's really somebody that one want to follow his footsteps, somebody one want to emulate his lifestyle and his achievements.
And his achievements, that is the word. This alone tells you this is a product of Dr. JB Asare, and he is currently the director in charge of mental health in Ghana.
So when I came home, I've taken up a lot of positions, like being the chairman of the Faculty of Psychiatry, and then going up to become the chairman or the vice president of the West African College of Psychiatry over here.
Briefly, how would you describe Dr. JB Asare?
Oh my God, Dr. JB Asare is my man. Actually, he is a man of wisdom. He's actually, I don't even know how to describe him. He's really elaborate. Everybody likes him, and he's the type of man that we need as a leader. Anyway, he has an epitome of wisdom, and oh my God, I don't know. Ghanaians should all go in for that man.
Ghanaians should all go in for that man. That is a message from Sydney, and this is a chat-field segment. The story of Dr. JB Asare still continuing right here on Living Legends.
I've held on to many positions, and one thing that happened that I really felt moved was when the government of the day in 1977 recognized my worth to give me the award of Grand Medal, Civil Division. In fact, it was something that came unnoticed. I said, oh, what is this? So there are human beings on this earth who know what some people are doing. And I was so happy. My wife and the whole family and everybody was happy that I got this award.
Another great musician Ghana has ever produced, Obiba Sly Collins, is my guest on the chat field talking about Dr. JB Asare. Obibasile Collins, how would you describe our man? What makes him unique to you?
No, he's a great man. He's a very quiet, humble man. One thing I love him is that he doesn't discriminate. He speaks so many languages. He's a man that Africa needs, and he's doing his good job. Taking care of the mental people is not easy, and apart from that, he's so kind and he's so humble. Love everybody as the way he is, you know. So he's a great guy. Ghana have great people. He's one of them.
Well, I must say some of the achievements that I was able to attain in the hospital, with the support of my colleagues, we were able to bring up a policy, mental health policy, which were not there. And also, the practice of psychiatry was mostly institutional care. And I felt that psychiatry should be out of the consulting rooms and go into the communities, see how people live, help them to live there, rather than bringing them into the hospitals.
Dr. Asare, what he don't like about nurses who are lazy and who will not treat his patients as he expects.
Well, Joe Asare doesn't get angry very, very easily. Joe will get angry if somebody does something repeatedly, particularly to the care of my patients. If a patient or another fellow human being is being bullied or is not getting what he should have, and somebody who has the upper hand is cheating him, that one, my anger will be demonstrated in calling you and telling you something. My anger doesn't end up in blows. It's a matter of just making sure that you understand what is going on in the process. And you'll be surprised that a lot of people do things to other human beings without knowing that what they are doing is wrong. No, you see defenseless people cheating them, bullying them, and shouting and doing things, pushing them here and there. Another thing is, what I dislike is laziness. You know, man was born to work. And if you are alive, you are strong, and you have the ability to produce. You better do it. You know, people sit down, they don't do anything, and want to be rewarded. This one, I don't think I would be happy with.
The things I can say about Dr. Asare, I think, is just too many to be enumerated. But one thing I can pick about Dr. Asare is on Saturdays, after his hectic schedule throughout the whole of the week, he comes on rounds on every Saturday to crack his patients and then review their medication.
I don't really regret anything in life, because what people should do to me, particularly my colleagues who have valued and given respect to what I've done, and acknowledged that there's something in me that I have produced to help my own fellow human beings and also mental health in Ghana. That was the exciting thing, the acknowledgement that Joe Asare has been able to do something which I thought I could have done more than what I did. I hope that my colleagues that are coming are even going to do more and will be inspired by what was done to me. You see, I can speak so many languages, so my patients feel comfortable with me. When they come, I can speak to them in Krobo, I can speak to them in Chiripon, Twi, Fanti, Polish, English, and other languages. So it makes it easier for me to communicate with my patients. I'm not the type that would like to stay in the consulting room. I want to educate. I want to promote health. I want people to understand what mental health is about. What else do I do if I'm not in the hospital doing anything? And how you see me, I'll go to my village. My father left a big cocoa farm in the village. I go and sleep under the farm, and I get a lot of free air. And sometimes I also help my colleagues there to farm a little bit. I can weed a lot. I do weed. My hobby, the favorite game is football. Yeah, my favorite team is House of Oak. I hope Kotoko will not get angry with me, but I've been a House of Oak man from childhood. But I love Kotoko too because they are very aggressive. I've always wanted to be Dr. JB Asare. Well, the next thing that I've struggled with, probably I would have gone into the religion. I would have been a priest. That's something in my family. I can see a lot of upcoming pastors. My younger brother is a priest, and our family is that type that I think the next profession would have been becoming a priest. I would like to thank you. I would like to thank listeners and everybody in Ghana who has made my work easier and made me what I am. I know for sure that Joe Asare couldn't have been who he is now without the help of my own colleagues in the hospital, the doctors, psychiatrists, my nurses in the psychiatric hospitals, my patients, and now the media, my pastors, and everybody who continue to pray for me. People come and they tell me, even the Malams and the Muslims, they come and say, "Oh, doctor, we said prayers for you this day or that day." So I know that there are a lot of people behind me who are praying for me and encouraging me so that I'm able to do things the way I did. So thank you very much for everything. May God bless everybody. Thank you.
He said thank you, thank you, thank you. He said thank to everybody. You are part of it. Let me ask you this question. Are you a true citizen of Ghana? A word to a wise is enough. Remember, this program was brought to you by King Auto Production. Don't forget, my co-host is still coming around just to bring you something decent like this. This is Living Legend. Same time on the same station. See ya.
This program was brought to you by King Auto Productions.